Welcome to another installment of This Is Not Normal on the Political Drain podcast with Drill Sergeant Doug, aka Admin Doug, a U.S. Army veteran, teacher, musician, and family man from Jamaica, now fights for justice and democracy through commentary and humor. Follow him on YouTube at Political Drain and at Sons of Liberty Official as Drill Sergeant, aka Admin Doug, continues to protect our freedoms.
Winner of the world's dumbest looking face award, and the answer to the question, what if Elmer Fudd and Jay-Z had a baby, Hakeem Jeffries. What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here, and as far as I'm concerned, the only reason to watch the State of the Union address as long as Trump is president is so that you can play drinking games based on the amount of lies that he tells. A shot for everyone. You're tore up. You're tore up. That makes it worthwhile. That makes it fun. The State of the Union address is stupid. It has absolutely no value since the President of the United States is not a reliable source of information. It's worthless. He's a liar. He's a self-aggrandizing con man of the highest order who's cheated on everything from his golf game to his 3 wives. And according to the Epstein files, he's cheated on all of them with 13-year-old girls. So yeah, looking for anything out of the Freudian slip, looking for anything out of the State of the Union address other than drinks and drunkenness is a bad play. But the only thing worse than a State of the Union address is Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah, this is what the man said. This is what the man said before the State of the Union address.
One of the big stories tonight is who wasn't there. Roughly 50 Democratic members of the House and Senate plan to forego the speech. I wish we were one. The folks who skipped included Senators Chris Murphy, Ed Markey, and Jeff Merkley, as well as Merk Manley, Mandy Merkin, Mork and Mindy, Marky Mark, and Meghan Markle, who was sitting Shiva for the late Billy Gidley. For Democrats who did attend, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries urged his members in the chamber to not make a scene, an approach he dubbed silent defiance, which I believe is a bold rebrand of doing jack squat.
Yes, YouTube. He actually told the Democrats who decided to be present for this orange puppet show presented to clapping seals and despicable me minions to not act out. Be quiet. Be polite. No. The truth is, YouTube, this is just yet another representation of a continued pattern of weakness, fecklessness, performative yet ineffective response, defense, or otherwise protest to authoritarianism in the defense of the American people. He can't do it. He cannot do it. Continued. And when I say pattern, I mean I've done this before. I've seen this before. Here's what I said the last time. Winner of the world's dumbest looking face award, and the answer to the question, what if Elmer Fudd and Jay-Z had a baby, Hakeem Jeffries just wrote yet another strongly worded letter and folded it neatly so that it could fit right in the neckgina of the dear leader so he could read it when he woke up from his nap. And, well, I wonder how that letter's coming. Hakeem, did you get the response you were looking for, Hakeem Jeffries? I'm beginning to believe you did. I'm beginning to believe that you got exactly what you were looking for. The nothingness that you ask for on a daily basis because you're just too paid off to actually want real change because the status quo is treating you just fine. I used to think that it was just a condition that you had while your eyes seemed like they were always closed. Now I think you're closing them on purpose. Hakeem Jeffries, I need you to open them up.
He or any other administration officials are found to have been culpable for any war crimes. Do you think that Democrats will take any sort of punitive legislative action against them?
It's my understanding that Pete Hegseth, so-called Secretary of Defense, was absolutely involved. I think he may have even recently acknowledged that because the facts are incapable of being disputed. And so the question in front of us...
Hey, Black Igor from the Addams family, you realize you still haven't answered the guy's question yet, right?
The White House is lying, but that's no surprise because they lie for a living and the American people know it.
And now that you know that their job is to lie every day,
Ultimately, the buck stops with the President of the United States of America, which is why I made clear to President Trump yesterday in my correspondence that the Secretary of Defense should be fired.
could you please tell me what the fuck are you doing writing a letter to them? And what response are you looking for when you know their job is to lie?
We need to find a handful of House Republicans to join us on a discharge petition to force an up or down vote on a 3-year extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
A few moments later.
Should Democrats be drafting articles of impeachment against Hegseth right now? Is that something you're considering for this week ahead?
Well, I think the problem is we can't even get Republicans to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credit. So the reality is that that type of accountability is not happening in this Congress.
You don't need all of them. You just need the people who want to leave, like Marjorie fucking Taylor Greene, or the other 2 people who are going to be resigning soon, because they're waiting for you to grow some balls and ask them to do it. And here we go again, YouTube. Here we go again. This droopy-eyed failure of a congressperson deserves to be shunned and voted out of office immediately. I know that Trump's going to lie when it comes to the State of the Union address. He lies while he's asleep. What I don't want to see is that the opposition to this liar, con man, cheater, authoritarian wannabe king is a droopy-eyed failure who's bought off by the... Oh, you thought it was just because he was weak. You know he's not weak. All you have to do is see how he fights against progressives. He uses the full force of his intelligence and political experience when fighting against progressives. The problem with the fecklessness and the weakness that you're seeing here is because he is bought off. And it's more than just AIPAC.
AIPAC now has spent $2 million attacking a moderate-leaning Democrat, Tom Malinowski, a Democrat, in the special House election in New Jersey 11th District. And we got a progressive Latina, Representative Mejia, who won, who, by the way, says abolish ICE. My question for you, if you're looking for accountability, if you're looking for change, shouldn't Democrats stop taking money from AIPAC that has spent so much money against Democrats?
Listen, everyone's going to have to make their individual decisions. My view as it relates to Democratic incumbents, first of all, is that I will continue to stand by every single one of them, whether that's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on the one hand, or the most conservative, moderate Democrat on the other, who's sitting in the Trump district and at all points in between, right? That's what I'm going to do as House Democratic leader. Now, in terms of how people individually fundraise, I'm proud of the fact that my average contribution amongst the millions of dollars that I've been working hard to raise for my own reelection that I use to help elect Democrats in other parts of the country is $27 per contributor. That's my average contribution. That's probably the lowest in the Congress. And so now everyone is going to raise money from their own constituents in different ways, and their own constituents are going to have a variety of different perspectives on a variety of different issues. But make no mistake, there's a big difference between Democrats and Republicans, and we're seeing that right now.
Will you stop taking money from AIPAC?
I'm going to continue to raise money in the same way that I've been raising it, where the average contribution from millions of people across the country is $27 per contributor.
So the answer there, of course, is yes, I'm going to continue taking money from AIPAC.
There's a reason for that. Well, if you look here, you'll find that, the top donors. PACs for Israel, aligning with Israel, all the names of the PACs that literally have Israel in the name are his top donors. Despite the $27 per person he's talking about. All that means is that there's way more people giving him small amounts of money than ever should be, because the most of it's coming from here. The people who are giving him money can't afford $27 is what that means. He's got millions of them. Because he's good at gaslighting. He said this before the State of the Union address.
Just today, it came out that ICE is using $38 billion to convert warehouses into camps. I'm going to call them concentration camps. Your colleague, Representative Raskin, went to one just yesterday in Maryland and said there were 60 people cramped like sardines in one room who only had access to one toilet. 65% of people taken by ICE had no convictions. That's from the Cato Institute, a right-wing institute. ICE has killed 8 people this year alone that we know of. 2 of them, Renee Nicole Good and Alex Pretty. The latest polls came out this week, AP polls. Over 60% of Americans now disapprove of ICE. That means in 3 weeks, it's gone from 30% to 60%. Now, if I may, I'm going to be a bit blunt here. Leaders lead. And what we've seen is people are impressionable. If you lead on something, people will follow. It seems the wind is behind your back for the first time ever. ICE has a history, CPP has a history of terrorizing Black and brown communities. People are asking themselves, why are we, our taxpayer dollars, paying for masked, lawless men to terrorize our communities, kidnap people, take children, and kill Americans? So I ask you, and I'm doing following up to Joy, because I want an answer to this. You said you want to rein in ICE. I'm saying, I'm talking about the long term now. Why not lead and say abolish ICE? Because what you're telling us is you want our taxpayer dollars to pay for a lawless masked armed agency to continue terrorizing our cities. And I'm trying to figure out how you, as a leader, can be telling Americans that their taxpayer dollars should be going to ICE.
I don't understand anything that you just said. I don't understand anything that you've just said to me when I've made clear that taxpayer dollars should be used to make life more affordable for the American people, not brutalize or kill them. That's the whole reason we're in this fight right now. That's the whole reason the DHS is getting ready to shut down. That's
so
the whole
abolish
reason
ICE.
why
You agree with me, Joy? Abolish ICE.
Listen, I'm going to use the language that I want to use. You can use the language that you want to use.
I don't understand anything you're saying. And
yes, of course, we can't abolish ICE. Get the cameras ready. Make sure you have the name tags. These all sound good in a regular kind of law enforcement way. Not with the Gestapo throwing people in concentration camps. YouTube? Jeffries? Oh, it doesn't work that way. You see, the reason why you can't abolish them, once again, YouTube, this is amazing. Please stick with me here, is because of this. Oh, you think I made a mistake? You don't see? I know, it doesn't say Geo, what is that? Geo Core Group with all the names of the private prisons. What it does say is BlackRock. Yeah. You see, they're more sophisticated. He doesn't need to be getting paid by prison companies per se, because BlackRock invests in prison companies per se. And they're one of his highest donors. Did he tell you that? What you find out is that when somebody can fight liberals and progressives in their own party harder than they fight authoritarianism, but go on after the State of the Union address with this performative bullshit, huh? You find out if you follow the money, you see the reason why. He needs people in those prisons just like the GOP does. BlackRock won't stand for it otherwise. He needs those bombs over Palestine. All of those groups won't stand for it otherwise. So what you need to understand, YouTube, is, but despite all of the tough talk after the State of the Union address for the cameras, all of his actions leading up to the State of the Union address, including that absurd, ridiculous order for the people to be quiet while their leader speaks, are way more important than what was said afterwards. For the cameras, kind of like the State of the Union itself. The entire address itself, everything that was said and done beforehand tells you everything you need to know about the man, much less the state of the actual union. Not what they said while the cameras were on. Now, listen, what we can do, what we need to do, we know. We have people that are on here all the time. Jordan Herrera, Bree Woodson. There are people we need to be rallying and voting for. People who are courage candidates. That means that they've signed on to the citizens' impeachment group. When they get there, day one, minute one, they're signing the impeachment, and it starts there. Everything else is progressive after that. And that group has hundreds, not hundreds, over 100, I will say, people running for office, Congress people, to replace old, feckless, wrinkled-ass Dems. that have been sitting in hot water for too long. We can replace them. The energy needs to be like Kat Abu Ghazali says. Hands raised up. Yes, I support impeachment. Yes, I support getting rid of Jeffries. No, I don't support Israel bombing the fuck out of whatever they want to. And stop heeing and hawing. They exist, and we can vote for them. It's amazing. And there's something else. There's something else that we can do to help each other. There is a young lady who has lost her husband, and this is personal now. She's going through it. She's going through it. She's a part of the team. She's been a fighter. She's been a fighter in it with us since last January. And doggone it, if I can't help her make some ends meet, help her get back on her feet after, if not the main breadwinner, at least half of the income is gone. I want to do that. And I'm hoping maybe you'll help me with that. We have the Patreon and we have all that stuff, but this one is more direct. Unfortunately, YouTube won't allow me to do a GFundMe here. So instead, I'm going to put it in my Substack. I'm going to tell a story. I'll have it up there by tomorrow. And on that post, my Substack, you go to Political Drain at Substack, and you'll see it. And when you see that post, when you see that article, attached will be the GFundMe, where you can help out if you so choose. Try to help her out through this hard time. It means a lot to me, and it would mean a lot to her. Actually, it would mean a lot to all of us because she's a fighter. Hakeem Jeffries is not, but she's a fighter. So I think we need to make sure we're taking care of people like her and getting rid of fuckfaces like Jeffries. The time to fight is now. Oh, wait a minute. If you made it this far, that means that maybe you might actually be a member or a Patreon member already. Well, that's good for you because tomorrow night we're going live. Patreon and members only. We got to give you something for that extra sacrifice you make. And it's going to be a good one. We're going to have our Casper from overseas. We're going to have, of course, Laura Malcolm from Canada. I think we may have a few other of the hosts come in. And it's going to be good. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. If there's anything else, I'll give you more updates. See you guys. The time to fight is now. Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're going to pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads. It's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works.
That was the Political Drain podcast, which can be heard on www.groovechillradio.com/political-drain and can be viewed on the Political Drain YouTube channel anytime. Once again, thank you for listening to Groove Chill as we resist fascism in any form, pursue democracy, peace, and love.